Hello, this lecture is about to provide you a very brief introduction about how to approach research. From what's research and how to approach research, what's the basic component in a research paper, and also I think I talk about the citations and some literature in LIS and how to organize the paper. Okay, I hope this lecture would be helpful for you to write a paper in our program. In our program, we have a research methodology course, which is a very important course. I hope if you can try to take the course, as you need to like apply for grant, right? And also you need to you want to conduct a user study in your library. And if you are like a research librarian in academic libraries, you are like required or supposed you know how to conduct research to help your patron, who will be your faculty members in the school and also the student. So hope you can consider to take the research method class. Okay, let's begin.
Um, okay, what's the process of research? Um, it's very simple. You need your research topic, right? So this week, hopefully, you can have your research topic tentative, and then make a form topic by next week, so that you can make this class. I mean, your final proposal have make happen, and then you need to have research. I mean, the search for sources about like previous related studies, including theory, right? In order to narrow down your topic or adjust your topic or shape your tentative research questions, and then you can set your research questions. And if you want to test, then you might need to have hypothesis, and then you need to identify the informants like a sampling, who or what will be your subject, and how to collect your data, So what kind of method you will be using, like a survey or questionnaire, or you do want to interview, or you do observe, you do want to observe, or you do want to focus group interviews, or you can do the case study, etc. And then you need to make your instrument in order to test. Like instruments include like questionnaire or interview scheduling or interview questions, right? And if you wanted to experiment with using like a computer, then you might need a system setup, etc. And then you can start your investigation and gather the data. After you gather the data, you need to analyze the data, and then you need to provide your research paper. Okay, how to plan a research report. Um, in this section, at first time I thought maybe because it's redundant, I thought, but uh, this is our last chapter, and this is good timing for you to provide this because you are about uh, submit your final research proposal. So let's take a look briefly about what you have to address in each section. We'll take a look description of the research problem in the next slide. Okay, which is most of time in the beginning of your research report. It depends on what kind of research methodology you use. If you are planning to have qualitative research, it might be different structure. And also we'll take a look description of the method. It's simply you have to provide what's your sample against your population, okay, and what's your instrument, and what's the procedure of the data collection. And in your methodology section, you should clearly state and what's the population, what you're aiming for, so what kind of sample you selected, and you have to provide your rationale how and why you chose that sample. And you also have to provide instrument to measure, to assess the data, to gather the data. And also you have to provide this is what I wanted to do for this data collection, and you have to state very clearly so that other researchers can replicate, and then you have to present your data, right? I mean the result of your data analysis. um, most when if you read a journal article, most of them provides you their research problems or research questions or hypotheses, and then they provide their data analysis or data analysis result, so that they can discuss a specific data analysis to which can be discussed to the research questions. And you have to provide your rationale why you use the particular analysis. For instance, in if you use a statistical analysis, there are some ways, not only one way, but some ways you can do with your data. So you have to provide them why you chose the specific analysis for your data. Okay. Um, and then the discussion section, interpretation of the data based on only what you got from your data analysis. This is your report based on your data, and except that you don't need to mention or you cannot guess, and you have to only state, provide the result from your data analysis. and try not to use word this study proved, or I firmly insist or firmly state, uh, because of my hypothesis supported, I prove such thing. Again, remember your hypothesis, your study is done by your sample, so you cannot uh, exaggerate, or you cannot confidently say uh, your study is proved, or like this is fun. You cannot say that. Okay, you may try to say your data analysis revealed that uh, the result support some specific hypothesis. Just say support. Okay, and also you have to admit if your instruments have a low validity or a small sample size, and uh, many times your hypothesis won't be accepted, won't be supported, might be rejected. Uh, those maybe the data itself, or our phenomena itself, uh, uh, that doesn't support your hypothesis, or your hypothesis itself was wrong. But many times your instrument, which should have validity to well address your research problem, to get the to answer your problem, your questions, but maybe your instrument itself uh, doesn't made doesn't have validity. I mean, doesn't support well about your research problem. Okay, or most of time your sample size is too small, so that your hypothesis won't be accepted. But again, it's not like right or wrong. You have to just admit if you knew or know that your instruments have low validity or small sample size. In your conclusion part, you have to provide a summary of the overall your study, including findings and conclusions pertaining to the problem. Always you have to provide the related to your problems. That's the reason you had that research. Okay, and whether or not the hypothesis have been supported. Okay, you have to provide your data analysis result, and then you can provide implications if you have, and also you can recommend for further study as a follow-up to present the study. So typical structure of a research papers, first introduction, right? Um, what's your studies about, right? Overview of your study, and in problem statement you provide what's the problem, what's the seriousness of the study, and how you can do develop the problem. I mean, how do you find out the problem statement and problem in your problem statement, and then you do you do need to have a purpose of the study. Without purpose of the study, your research wouldn't be valuable, wouldn't be appealing to the others. And then provide literature review in order to make sure to provide your readers to the basic background of the topic area, and also provides your understanding about the previous studies, and to make them um, know that you are knowledgeable about the topic. Okay, so actually in the literature review section you can show a lot, and other people who read your paper judge from your literature review whether this researcher has enough knowledge to process the product, produce this research. And then theoretical proposition, if it's applicable. Okay, it depends on your research type. And research questions, of course, right? You need to have research question. As you can see, the chapters, I don't know which chapter, but it provides you how you can make separate. How you can make sub research question. Including sub. There is your research problem, and then how you can split the sub research problems, and then you will have your research questions by each sub problems. Okay, and then your methodology section, how you collect the data. Okay, and then data analysis result, and then you provide how you analyze your data, and then how you interpret your result. And in discussion section, provides your reader with what's the implications from your study, what's the limitations of your study, and then you need to have your overall conclusion. So this is typical structure of a research paper, and in this class I would like you to try, let me see, everything except data analysis. And yeah, I think except data analysis, the methodology, uh, you can just provide a plan over your methodology, right? And then in the discussion, although you haven't started your data collection, you can anticipate, you will know what kind of implications you have in your proposal, and also you have to provide the limitations of your research proposal. So I know it looks like a lot, but once you start and once you finished, you will feel very good, and you might feel very proud of yourself, I hope. And okay, this is typical structure of research paper. Okay, let's take a look description of the research problem section, because this is your beginning of the paper. This is important, really important part. I am expecting your final proposal, you have to provide good introduction. It shouldn't be it it doesn't need to be long, or it doesn't need to be elaborated, or it doesn't need to have like a fancy word. Just provide what this paper is about, and what's your uh, purpose of this paper, and what's your research problems, and what what your reader can expect from your paper. Okay, and we also read a little bit the background of the subject area. So again, readers should comprehend what the problem is and why study is important to conduct. If you cannot um, persuade or cannot assert your research is important, then maybe no reader can proceed the further section. So you have to strongly state this research is important, and you have to provide some you have to catch something to provide uh, get some intention, get some provide some attraction of your paper, some provide some interest, why your paper is important, and in a stronger stronger statement, even if you think it's not this important, which is not. Please make good introduction paper for your final proposal. Okay, I am one of your reader, and I don't know anything about your paper. I know, of course. I talk with you, and I discuss with your topic, and I read your research problems, and I read your methodology part, but I will be pretending I don't know anything about your paper. So I am just new to your paper. So and then I will read what this paper is about. If you don't provide uh, what your paper is about and what you are going to do and what this is about, I want to read more. Okay, so in your introduction, which is a meeting of mind between the writer and readers, need to provide background and rationale for the study. Research problem, including sub-problems, should be provided clearly. Maybe appropriate subheadings can help. I think very a few of you, except few of you, it's better to have subheadings. Um, most of you have very good writing skill, uh, but except very few people, um, I recommend to have subheadings. Even if your paper is short, it doesn't matter. It's better to provide subheadings in order to provide the concise and the comprehended the order that your reader can have. So hope you can try to have subheadings even in your literature review and even in your introduction part. Like and first page you may have the title and then maybe research problem or purpose of the study or what else in your introduction, like background or overview of the study or like definition, right? And then what else? Uh, so if you have a really good writing skill, if you have a really good at the making structure, ordering, the good, if you can judge well how I'm gonna have your paragraph, and please not to have long paragraph. It's not easy to read. Okay, not only me. Please try not to have a long paragraph and try to think how your reader can read easily. Okay, uh, try to think your readers, not yourself. Okay. Okay, so and also other terms that needs to be clarified if it's like technical terms or it's very in the jargons, something like that. If it's need to be clarified, you have to provide a clarification and also provide any delimitation if you have it, because you cannot solve or you cannot deal with every things in your research. So you might have delimitation in your study. So please say state your studies this boundary, and there might be more research problems in such areas, and this research won't be deal with those part. And so please clarify if you have any delimitations. Okay, when you prepare the report, uh, there are different style is required by different journals or publishers. So follow the guidelines for those section of the journals. In the AP style, active voice is recommended, then passive. Some papers oftentimes discovered by found by the a student who never had research papers, it's kind of the sentence itself is not short, and then something uh, feels weird. Then I realize that this is not active voice. It's passive way. In the research, not only APA style, most research paper has active voice, which is recommended. So if you think you are using passive style, I mean passive voices a lot in your paper, maybe you can try to change to the active voice. I don't. In our class, I think maybe one or two. I don't remember if I mentioned, if I commented on your paper, um, which is actually I think it's not easy to catch if you use those voices in your paper. So maybe you can try read your paper very objective way, or you may ask to others to read your paper. Then you might notice that, oh, maybe I am using the passive way than active voice. Okay. In the IPA style, past tense be used for literature review, method, and the result. Because if you already done for your research, in your proposal, the method will still will be maybe future tense or the present if it's applicable. Present tense is appropriate for discussion of your result and conclusion section. Okay, I think this is mostly similar to other style of manual. I'm not 100% sure though. Okay, use the word like participants, individuals, student, or respondents, then subject, because subject has various meanings. So trying not to use subject nowadays. Again, your writing should be neatness and clarity, easy to read. You are required to have a double spaced line, okay, and then 12 font. Okay, I prefer to have a new Roman, but it doesn't specifically state in your APA style manual. Maybe Korea or something, but most of them new Roman type. You also have to set tabs for paragraph indents. Okay, some people are using space for whole line and then start with a new paragraph. But in the APA style, you can just enter and have indentation, one indentation. Okay, maybe 1.5 inch. I think the steps are, and then set margins. I believe it's 1 inch for like the right or bottom or upper side or one margin. You have to make sure, you have to check, and then you have to have order of your table or figure numbers. Your writing should be precision, no ambiguous. Use and also you have to put out like uh, you can use like don't or can't. You have to provide do and ot. I'm not I'm not good at English, but you have to put out. Don't use the short version. Or also you have to provide the full uh, like ARA. You have to provide American Association Library, and then parenthesis ALA, and then parenthesis close, and then you can use the ARA, the rest of the paper, the file of the paper, but don't use the short version first, assuming that your readers does know anything about your field or your subject. Logical structure also be required, right? Your paper should be logic. You have to have vision, order, and the data that should be carefully placed and cemented by the precise. Um, Again, one of the most important thing of doing research is sharing your knowledge. So it's actually very important to share your knowledge, and in order to do that you need to present your papers, and you're trying to publish your uh, papers and journals, and or you can try to have like a book chapters in a publisher. um, I've tried several articles, peer-reviewed articles, and yeah, it's very restrict because they are field reviewed, and you have three different reviewers, the evaluation, and it depends on the publication, the journals. But if one of them is against it, or um, it's one of them is really strongly against it, you cannot get in. And even if they suggest, maybe you can try revise or try to more clarify this methodology part. We can reconsider those things like that, and it's very hurting when you read those review. And but again, it's most of the time I feel like, oh, I didn't uh, elaborate. I didn't provide a good amount of explanation about uh, the, the data analysis. And so what I wanted to tell you is, it's not easy to get in, to get the well-known journals, especially for the peer-reviewed. But you have to try. Okay. Um, and also the conference presentations, that it's kind of easy. I'm compared to publish your article in journal. You there is like the call for papers. It's at least like 5 to 6 months in advance. So you have to make sure, keep the due date, and then to the offer your abstract. It depends on the conference. Some conferences ask you about 1 or 2 pages of proposal, or some conferences ask you about just abstract. And I've tried when I studied at my doctoral program, um, because that's one of the scholarship I have to pursue. But I worked full time, and I studied full time. I just couldn't have time, and I had some data, but I still couldn't finish. I still couldn't um, publish, and then even if I graduated, I got my PhD. Still, I actually still didn't couldn't publish my dissertation, which is very shame that I didn't, and I couldn't. Um, I can't tell why, but it's not excuse. It's no excuse in this, because I had my baby, and I just couldn't, because my age. I was so worried that I think that's the only time I could publish my dissertation. But when I'm pregnant, I was just concentrating concentration on my baby to be born, and I just didn't have time. I just couldn't do it. And then now I'm here, just every day is busy for preparation to classes, and also talk with my advisors, and other administration works. And I'm sure you will be the same page, because you work at the free time in the library or at the school, and also you have your life. Yeah, so it's not easy, but some people are very actively doing, and it means we can do it. Right? And let's do it. It's I'm not qualified to say this, but I can say let's try, right? So hopefully I can see your names on the journals, and also I will be trying to publish some of my previous studies, and hopefully I can see your names in the future for the conferences and our journals. Okay. Okay, so a good researcher provides a regular guided spots like headings, um, a good transitional words and paragraphs, and other means of helping readers follow your arguments and words. Okay, try to think your reader first. Okay, again, while you are doing research, because you will uh, provide some benefit to our society. You have to share your knowledge. In order to do that, your paper should be read by other readers, right? So your paper should be well structured, and then easy to read for your reader. A summary. A good research provides a summary at the close of each extended discussion. Again, like in even in your last paragraph of introduction, you might provide this paper will address, or in the next section, I will. I mean, this research is maybe you might say the next section, the literature review will be provided, or something like that. So you have to, and also uh, that that's transitional word, right? You have to provide a summary. So even in your introduction part, you have to provide a summary of what your state about, and then you have to provide what your reader can expect it from the rest part. And a good research provides never leaves the reader in doubt as to what's happening during the discussion. Okay. Again, it should be clear. Um, uh, if your reader says, "I'm not sure what the researcher talks about," then it's not clear. It's very hard actually, because for you it's it's too obvious, but for your readers it might not be, right? Also, a good research provides any weakness, flaw, and limitations in your study. Again, you have to provide your weakness, any flaws, limitations about in your study. A good researcher provides a coherence in each section. Okay, each section should be connected. In some paper, you might encounter like each section feels like very separate, and you cannot get connected what this previous section is talk about, and what you can expect. You don't know what you can expect to the next section. So each section has to have a coherence. It is also important that you need to uh, review your draft many times. Sometime when after you, sometimes while you're too focused to write a paper, you may not see some fault because you were too much concentrated on the writing the paper. So you may check later, a few days later, and try to make it revise, and as many possible if you can. Okay. And try to keep sentences simple and straightforward, not trying to have a long sentence or long and the endless of words and words. Try to keep it short, make it clear. Okay, and also you may ask feedback from others. Um, we oftentimes cite the sources from other researchers. Uh, why you cite? Oftentimes we cite because you might helpful for other readers that what kind of sources available or related to their topic, and also we are practicing citing because we need to show respect for our fellow knowledgeable workers, and also you need to avoid plagiarism, right? Citing is okay, and also it provides that you research it and you know about the relevant and related topics that you have researched. But when you write your paper, you need your voice. The sources just to support your think and thought, and also but you need to make your own voice, all own ideas. Sometimes when I review the papers, many students just put quotation mark. That was it, just from beginning to the end. For example, quotation mark, starting quotation mark, and blah blah blah, and finished quotation mark. Or some people said quotation mark and then quotation mark period, and there is no voice from you. It's not. It is not the word, not the work that you have done. I mean, it's just your citing. It's not the research. So try to provide your own word first, and then cite uh, like why you are referring to that, and why it is related to the topics that you're discussing. You need to make your own voice on the research paper. Okay, sometimes you write something and then at the end you just provide a open parenthesis and then put citation mark and then close the parenthesis and with the whole quote. This isn't a right writing about a paper. Okay. So try to make your voice without just having the quotation mark or just copying from other sources. Um, when you select your sources, you need to think about the purpose and audience of your paper, and try to have sources from peer-reviewed journals. Okay, and also if you're not sure how to start, you may look for the subject headings from our Library of Congress, and also the library databases it's available from our school and also other libraries rather than just Googling. You need to quote effectively, okay? Again, try to have your own word first, okay, when you start the paragraph or and the sentence. And also don't quote too often, okay? It's hard to read the paper to get your idea. Sometimes I'm not sure what you're writing. Sometimes I confused why you are quote. I mean, why you provide too many quotations on your paper. Okay, you can always rephrase or paraphrase. Okay, and also sometimes we need to quote, but you need to have a good reasons of rationale to quote the whole paragraph or long sentences. Okay. if you need to quote, try to follow the exact rule of each style of a menu. Okay, for instance, in APA style, it's required to have a block quote. Okay, try to find the block quote in APA style in your menu book, or to look for relevant information from the library. Um, I think I have provided another note about style of manual. So try to look for that note, and also look for this website. For the AP style, which is required to have in this class, try to look for those some sample papers that I have linked here, and also the the it is the from the Purdue library. It's very widely used sources for APS style, because they compiled very well, they updated very well about APS style. So I often refer to this website. I mean the Purdue library. Okay. And also, it's good to refer to other sample papers from the well-known journals, that you can learn how to write a paper and how to cite the correct sources. Okay.
Um, this lecture was actually I offered to my research method class. So if you heard something like research proposal in the recording, if I try to record all slides again, but if I missed, please neglect it. Okay, that's for the research method class. So these are the two references I use for this lecture.